In the dark part of the city, nestled among ancient trees and ominous shadows, stood an old abandoned psychiatric hospital. Rumors circulated that this place was cursed by the ghosts of tragedy and disaster that occurred here decades ago. But it was precisely this grim legend that held a certain frightening charm. And I, along with my 3 friends, Jason, Sarah, and Michael, decided to explore it. Our fateful decision led us to the black gates of the psychiatric hospital. The air seemed heavy with the burden of the past, and the wind whispered like the voices of ghosts, warning us of our wrong choice. But our curiosity outweighed our fear, and we entered the ominous building. The rooms were filled with a grim atmosphere, as if welcoming us into the embrace of death and madness. Echoes of shuffles and footsteps resonated through the corridors, though none of us could be sure whether it was merely an echo of the past or something more sinister. Our flashlight illuminated the long corridors permeated with the voices of the dead. Gradually, our friends began to disappear, swallowed by the darkness. First, it was Michael. He simply vanished, and we couldn't find him. Then Sarah, who disappeared without a trace, leaving only a mysterious blood stain on the wall. Jason went into one of the rooms, and his screams tore through the silence, but when we reached there, he was gone, as if he had never been. Fear gripped us more and more, and I began to realize that we were not just exploring an abandoned building, but were entangled in the heart of a mystical nightmare. All signs indicated that this place was not just a psychiatric hospital, but something more sinister and incomprehensible. Left alone, I understood that time was running out, and the dark forces of this place were pursuing me. The shadow of the curse grew thicker, and every sound seemed like a summons of ghosts thirsting for my soul. Eventually, I found myself in a hall that seemed to be the center of all the dark energies of this place. Spells hung on the walls, and in the center of the hall stood an altar upon which a fire burned, casting shadows that seemed to have a life of their own. And there, in the darkness, I saw them, the glowing eyes of the ghosts manifested in the forms of my friends. They stood before me, their faces twisted with fear and torment, as if their souls were trapped in this dark place forever. They were silent, but their gazes spoke of horror and suffering. I realized that this place was not just an abandoned psychiatric hospital, but a portal to a world of dark arts where my friends were imprisoned for eternity. In the last moment, as the ghosts began to approach me, I escaped from this nightmare, carrying only the shadow of death and madness with me. But even now, as I try to forget this nightmare, their faces and screams haunt me in my darkest dreams, reminding me that evil never dies completely.